The Layover. The flight was supposed to leave at 6:15. I know because I checked the departure board 17 times while standing in the security line, watching the minutes tick away while the TSA agent, a thick-necked mouth breather with all the urgency of a sedated sloth, examined every goddamn item in the bag of the woman in front of me. "Ma'am, is this your water bottle?" "Yes, I forgot to." "You can't bring liquids through security." "I know, I just forgot." "I'm going to have to confiscate this." I checked my watch. 5:47. The gate was a 15-minute walk. I could still make it if these people would just move. "Excuse me." I pushed forward, inserting myself into the conversation. "Some of us have connecting flights. Can we speed this up?" The TSA agent looked at me with the flat, dead eyes of a man who had stopped caring about anything approximately 40 years ago. "Sir, please step back. I'm just saying, there's a line here. Some of us have places to be. Sir, step back." I stepped back. The woman with the water bottle gave me a look. The kind of look people give when they want you to know you're being an asshole but are too polite to say it. I ignored her. I ignored the agent. I ignored the slow, grinding inefficiency of every single person in this airport who seemed determined to make me miss my flight. 5:52. The line crept forward. 5:58. I finally made it through the scanner, grabbed my bag, didn't bother putting my shoes back on. I ran. The terminal was a maze of overpriced restaurants and duty-free shops, and every path seemed designed to funnel you past things you didn't need while hiding the gates you were looking for. I dodged families, hurdled luggage, nearly knocked over a child who had wandered into the middle of the concourse to stare at a pretzel stand. "Watch where you're going," the mother yelled. I didn't stop, didn't apologize, didn't have time. Gate 47. That's what the ticket said. I'd printed it 3 times because I didn't trust my phone. I didn't trust the airline app. Didn't trust anything except paper and ink and the goddamn laws of physics. Gate 47. I turned the corner, lungs burning, legs aching, and saw the desk. The empty desk. The closed door. The departure board that now read, "Departed." 6:17. 2 minutes. I'd missed it by 2 minutes. The woman at the customer service counter had a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I understand you're frustrated, sir." "Frustrated doesn't begin to cover it. I had a connection. I have a meeting tomorrow morning. Do you understand what this is going to cost me?" "Sir, the flight departed on time. If you'd arrived at the gate..." "I would have arrived at the gate if your security line moved faster than a funeral procession. This is your fault. This is the airline's fault. I want to speak to a manager." The smile flickered, just for a moment. Something else showed through. Exhaustion, maybe, or the particular kind of hatred that customer service workers cultivate for people like me. Then it was back, bright and false. "Let me see what I can do." She typed, clicked, typed some more. I drummed my fingers on the counter, checked my phone, sighed loudly enough that the people behind me could hear. "Good news," she said finally. "We have a seat available on our redeye flight. Leaves at 11:45, arrives at 6:30 a.m. You'll make your meeting with time to spare." 11:45? That's 5 hours from now. "Yes, sir, but it will get you to your destination." "Where do I wait? The gate?" She handed me a new boarding pass. The paper was warm from the printer, slightly damp with ink. "Terminal C, Gate 66. It's a smaller terminal. Just follow the signs for the C concourse. There's a lounge area where you can wait." I snatched the pass from her hand without thanking her. Why would I? She was just doing her job poorly. Terminal C was not where it was supposed to be. The signs pointed me down a corridor I'd never noticed before, past the food court, past the last cluster of gates, through a door marked "Authorized Personnel Only" that stood propped open with a rubber wedge. Beyond it was another hallway, longer and narrower, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead with that particular frequency that makes your teeth ache. I walked. The hallway ended at another door. This one had a small window set into it, reinforced with wire mesh. Through the glass, I could see a terminal, smaller than the others, older, with that particular aesthetic of airports built in the 70s and never updated. Orange plastic chairs, brown carpet, a single departure board hanging from the ceiling, its letters the old mechanical kind that flipped with a soft clack-clack-clack. I pushed through the door. The terminal was quiet. A handful of other passengers sat scattered among the rows of chairs, maybe 8 or 9 of them, all looking as irritated as I felt. A man in a business suit was jabbing at his phone, cursing under his breath when it wouldn't connect. A woman was berating what looked like her adult son. An older man sat alone, scowling at a newspaper like it had personally offended him. My people. I found a seat near the window and checked my phone. No signal, no Wi-Fi. I tried the airline's app. Nothing. Just a spinning wheel that turned and turned without connecting. Typical. I leaned back, crossed my arms, and waited. The first hour passed slowly. I watched the other passengers. The businessman had given up on his phone call and was now typing furiously into his laptop, muttering under his breath. The woman had reduced her son to silence. He sat slumped in his chair while she continued a monologue about his life choices. The older man hadn't moved, hadn't turned a page, just stared at the same spot on his newspaper like it held the secrets of the universe. There was no staff, no gate agents, no one behind the counter with its dark computer screens and empty coffee cups. The departure board showed only one flight, 666, delayed. Delayed. Of course. I got up to find someone, anyone, who could tell me what was happening. I walked to the counter, empty. I walked to the door marked Employees Only, locked. I walked back toward the corridor I'd come from. The door was gone. I stopped, stared. The wall where the door had been was smooth and unbroken, the same institutional beige as everything else. No seam, no handle, no window, just wall, stretching from floor to ceiling like the door had never existed at all. It won't help. I spun. The businessman was looking at me from his seat, laptop closed on his knees. What? Looking for the exit. It won't help. He smiled, but there was no humor in it. Trust me, I've been here 3 days. 3 days? That's impossible. Is it? He gestured at the window behind me. Look outside. Tell me what you see. I turned. Beyond the glass was darkness. Not the darkness of night, but something deeper. Something that seemed to swallow light rather than reflect it. No runway, no planes, no anything. Just black, pressing against the window like a living thing. What the hell is this place? Terminal C, Gate 66. The businessman's smile widened. The layover that never ends. His name was Richard, or at least that's what he told me. I had a connection to Chicago, he said. Missed it because some idiot at the rental car counter couldn't process a simple return. They booked me on a redeye, Gate 66, and here I am. For 3 days. 3 days, 4 hours, 17 minutes. He checked his watch. An expensive one. The kind that cost more than my car. Not that it matters. Time doesn't work right here. That's insane. Yes, he nodded agreeably. It is. I looked around the terminal. The other passengers were watching us now. The woman and her son, the old man with his newspaper, a few others I hadn't noticed before. A young woman in yoga pants who kept checking a phone that clearly had no signal. A heavyset man in a Hawaiian shirt who was eating from a bag of airport trail mix with mechanical, joyless precision. Who are they? Same as us. Missed a flight, got rebooked, ended up here. Richard leaned back in his chair. We've compared notes. It's always the same story. Something goes wrong, something that's never really our fault. The line was too long, the agent was too slow, the connection was too tight. We complain, we demand. We make someone's day a little worse, and then they send us here. They? The airline, the universe, God, if you believe in that sort of thing. He shrugged. Does it matter? We're here, and we're not leaving. Bullshit. I stood up. There's always a way out. I'm a problem solver. I find solutions. That's what I do. Is that what you do? The woman, the one who'd been berating her son, had drifted closer. She was older than I'd thought, mid-60s maybe, with the sharp features and expensive jewelry of someone who'd spent her life getting what she wanted. I ran a Fortune 500 company for 23 years. I invented solutions, and I've been here for 2 months. 2 months? Linda, she said, not offering her hand. And that's my son, Kevin, though I use the term loosely. He's been a disappointment since birth. Kevin didn't respond. He just sat there, staring at the floor, looking like a man who'd been told he was worthless so many times he'd started to believe it. This is crazy. I was pacing now, my voice rising. This is an airport. There are regulations. There are laws. You can't just trap people in a terminal and what? The old man spoke for the first time. His voice was rough, phlegmy, like he'd been a smoker for decades. What are you going to do? File a complaint? He laughed. It was an ugly sound. I've been here since 1987. His name was Harold. He'd been an executive in an insurance company, the kind of man who denied claims for a living, who found the loopholes that let corporations avoid paying what they owed. He'd missed a flight to a conference in Miami because he'd spent too long screaming at the ticket agent over a seat assignment. First class, he said. I always flew first class. And they'd given my seat to some woman with a baby. A baby in first class. Can you imagine? I could imagine. I could imagine it very clearly. The agent rebooked me. Red-eye to Miami, gate 66. Harold turned another page of his newspaper, the same page he'd been staring at since I arrived. That was 38 years ago, or maybe 38 days. It's hard to tell anymore. That's impossible. You'd be dead by now. Would I? He looked at me with eyes that were somehow both ancient and empty. You don't die here. You don't age. You don't eat, don't sleep, don't change. You just wait. Wait for what? The flight. He nodded toward the departure board. It's always delayed, but they say it's coming, eventually. I looked at the board. The mechanical letters hadn't changed since I'd arrived. Flight 666, delayed. How long? Different for everyone. Harold went back to his newspaper. Depends on what you did, how many people you hurt, how much pain you caused. He smiled, showing teeth that were yellow and cracked. I used to think I was a good person, successful, important. Turns out I was just good at making other people's lives miserable. I'm not like you. The words came out before I could stop them. I'm not some monster. I just wanted to make my flight. Harold looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time. Tell me something, he said. When's the last time you apologized? To anyone, for anything? I opened my mouth to answer. Nothing came out. I tried everything. I walked every inch of that terminal looking for an exit that didn't exist. I pounded on walls that felt solid as stone. I screamed for help until my voice gave out. I tried to break the windows. They didn't even crack. The other passengers watched with the mild interest of people who'd seen it all before. I tried to dig through the floor once, the woman in yoga pants said. Her name was Brittany. She'd been a wellness influencer, the kind who sold expensive supplements and told her followers that their chronic illnesses were just negative thinking. Broke every nail I had. The carpet didn't even scuff. What about the ceiling? I was desperate now, grasping for anything. Travis tried that. She pointed to the man in the Hawaiian shirt. He was still eating his trail mix, methodically and empty. He was a landlord, raised rents on fixed-income seniors. He climbed up there 3 weeks ago. She paused. Or 3 years ago. Hard to tell. What happened? Nothing. There's nothing up there, just more ceiling. She checked her phone again, a reflexive gesture that meant nothing in a place with no signal. I've been here 6 months, or 6 decades. I keep waiting for the flight to board. They say it will eventually. Eventually isn't good enough. I was pacing again, faster now. There has to be a way. There's always a way. I've never failed at anything in my life. I graduated top of my class. I made partner before I was 40. You're very impressive, Brittany said flatly. I'm sure that matters to someone. It matters to me. That's the problem. I lost track of time. That's what happens here. The lights never change, always the same fluorescent buzz, the same flat white glow. There's no sunrise, no sunset, no way to mark the passage of hours. Just the terminal, the chairs, the silent departure board, and the other passengers who drift through the space like ghosts who haven't realized they're dead. I talked to all of them eventually, learned their stories, the reasons they were here. Richard, the businessman, had built his career on hostile takeovers, buying companies, gutting them, laying off thousands. He'd missed his flight because he'd spent 20 minutes berating a gate agent for not upgrading him to business class. I called her stupid, he said. Told her she'd never amount to anything. She was crying when I walked away. Linda, the executive, had spent 40 years climbing over everyone in her path. Her son Kevin had been collateral damage, criticized, belittled, made to feel worthless so she could feel powerful. She'd missed her flight because she was too busy listing his failures to notice the final boarding call. Travis, the landlord, had evicted a family 3 days before Christmas. Elderly parents, disabled daughter. They'd been 2 weeks late on rent. He'd missed his flight because he'd stopped to call his property manager and gloat. Brittany had sold fake cancer cures to desperate people. Harold had denied claims to dying patients. The young woman in the corner, I never learned her name, had been a social media manager who'd orchestrated harassment campaigns against people for minor perceived slights. All of us, every single one, people who'd spent our lives making the world a little worse, one small cruelty at a time. And now we were here, waiting for a flight that never came. I started screaming on what might have been day 5, or day 50, or day 500. I screamed at the walls, at the ceiling, at the other passengers who just watched with tired eyes. I screamed until my throat was raw, until I tasted blood, until I couldn't make any more sounds. Then I collapsed in the corner and cried. I hadn't cried since I was a child, since my father had told me that crying was weakness, that real men solved problems instead of feeling sorry for themselves. I'd taken that lesson to heart, built my whole life around it, never apologized, never admitted fault, never let anyone see me as less than in control. Look where it got me. It doesn't help. Kevin was standing over me, Linda's son. The disappointment. He looked younger close up, mid-30s maybe, with the hunched posture and downcast eyes of someone who'd spent their whole life being told they weren't enough. Nothing helps. No. He sat down next to me, back against the wall. But the screaming definitely doesn't. Why are you here? You're not like the rest of them. Aren't I? He smiled, but it was sad. I spent my entire life being angry, at her mostly. He nodded toward Linda, who was lecturing Brittany about something. But at everyone, really. Cashiers, waiters, customer service reps. Anyone I could take it out on without consequences. He paused. I made a lot of people cry. I never thought about it. They were just there, absorbing whatever I needed to release. That's not the same as what they did, isn't it? He looked at me. How many people did you make cry over the years? How many days did you ruin? How many people went home and told their families about the asshole who screamed at them for for something that wasn't their fault. I thought about the TSA agent, the customer service rep, the mother whose child I'd nearly trampled, the rental car clerk, the hotel staff, the waiters, the assistants, the endless parade of people I'd treated like obstacles instead of human beings. "I don't know," I said. "Neither do I." Kevin pulled his knees to his chest. "But I'm starting to think that's the point." The announcement came without warning. One moment, silence. The next, a voice, female, pleasant, completely inhuman, echoing through the terminal. "Attention passengers, we will begin boarding Flight 666 in 100 years. Please have your boarding passes ready." I scrambled to my feet. The other passengers were stirring, looking around, some with hope and some with despair. 100 years? I was laughing, or crying, or both. That's my sentence? 100 years. Harold looked up from his newspaper. He'd been here for 38 years, still waiting. "Count yourself lucky," he said. "I've got another 2 centuries. 2 centuries for what?" "I told you." He went back to his paper. "The company denied a lot of claims. A lot of people died because of me." He turned a page that had never changed. "The bill comes due eventually, for all of us." I looked at the departure board. The letters were flipping now, clack-clack-clack, rearranging themselves with mechanical precision. Flight 666, boarding in 100 years. 100 years. Alone in this terminal with these people, this fluorescent light, this silence that pressed in from all sides. 100 years of nothing, of waiting, of knowing exactly why I was here and being unable to do anything about it. 100 years to think about every person I'd hurt, every day I'd ruined, every apology I'd never given. I sank into a chair. The orange plastic was cold against my back. The lights buzzed overhead, eternal and unchanging. Around me, the other passengers settled back into their routines. Richard typing on a laptop with no Wi-Fi, Linda berating someone who'd stopped listening decades ago, Travis eating trail mix that never ran out because nothing here ever changed. I looked at my boarding pass. The paper was crisp, untouched by time. Hartley, Daniel, Flight 666, Gate 66, boarding, 100 years. I folded it carefully and put it in my pocket. Then I leaned back, closed my eyes, and began to wait. "Attention passengers, Flight 666 is delayed. We apologize for any inconvenience." Somewhere, in an airport that shouldn't exist, the lights flicker on forever. The passengers wait in orange plastic chairs, reading newspapers that never update, checking phones that never connect, having conversations that loop back on themselves like snakes eating their own tails. They are paying for something, all of them. The accumulated weight of a lifetime's small cruelties. The casual damage we do to each other without thinking. The pain we inflict because it's easier than being kind. They will wait until the bill is paid. And somewhere, in a terminal that no one has entered yet, an announcement crackles to life. "Now boarding, all passengers who made someone cry today." The door opens, the light flickers, and one by one, they file in.